I know, you're probably thinking, no, not another JW My Story video. Yeah, well, I promise to make it short and sweet, and my story is a little bit different than most. So, hi, my name's David. Many of you ex-JWs making videos have seen me on your channels for quite a while, hitting the like button, sometimes commenting. Um, so, I am 50 years old, and I was raised Catholic. Almost all of my immediate and extended family is Catholic, active Catholic. I have two older sisters, and I'm the youngest. My oldest sister and I got involved with Jehovah's Witnesses when I was in the eighth grade when I started studying, I think it was, and got baptized around 2020, age 20, I think, 21. Um, my sister, who's 4 years older, I don't remember when she got baptized, but she's still in it. Like, she's, full time in it. So, my congregation was different from what I hear in other stories. It was kind of small and it did get dissolved. It was in Baldwin Park, California, which is in Los Angeles County. And before I was baptized, I remember I was doing a lot of stuff. I mean, I was going to all the meetings, I was going out service all the time. A couple times I think I tried to auxiliary pioneer. Um, anyway, I mean, I was doing the microphones all the time, and at the time we had a bookstore. I was doing uh, assistant bookstore person. I even had a key to the Kingdom Hall. Uh, I had a janitorial business, and they were actually paying me to clean the Kingdom Hall. And that was ran. The bookstore was ran by an ex elder. I don't know if he stepped down or got demoted or what happened, but um, most of the elders in my congregation were professionals. They had bachelor's degrees, and you know, one elder was an accountant. No, the elder's wife was an accountant. One elder was a school teacher, and I was that brother that a lot of the sisters, because I wasn't baptized and I was kind of new and was raised worldly. I guess that kind of made me a good target, like a good confidant. So I was that brother that all the sisters would call, every once in a while, weird hours with all their woes and concerns in life. And uh, nobody got molested. I think if they did, I would have been the third to know, and that just didn't happen. Uh, Brother Sanutko was our circuit overseer. By the way, you probably have seen videos around of that guy, the gray haired guy at the circuit assembly saying, "Stay alive till 75." That's Brother Sanetko. He was our circuit overseer, and he was a great speaker, by the way. He retired um, during my short term at the going to the Kingdom Hall. Let's see. We're just going quick, all right? So, uh, our congregation got dissolved. We had two English congregations at our hall. We got dissolved and we merged in with the Sierra congregation. I was in Vista, and I went for a little while after I got baptized and kept going. But there was like this nagging something was wrong here, because this is a whole different world for me, from being raised worldly. And it felt weird, like when someone would get disfellowshipped and they were my friend yesterday and now I don't talk to them anymore. It felt weird. And I also I guess I'm just kind of naturally like a woman's liber, and I really didn't, it seemed weird to me that, like, even unbaptized, that I could handle the microphone polls, but the women couldn't do that, you know, uh, even though they didn't really have brothers to do it. So, but they can operate a mop, no problem. Mops are okay. So, little things like that kind of bothered me, and it was weird. But I finally just got to a point where, for no conscious reason other than that kind of background stuff, like the way they treat women, I just quit going. I didn't throw my hands up in the air in a fit. Um, I just one day didn't go to the meeting, and it felt right, and I just kept on not going. And um, what would that be? 28 years ago, and I never looked back. Never looked back. My sister never bothered me about it. Nobody came to make a shepherding call. Uh, Nothing. Zip, not a zero. Out of there, scot free. By the way, speaking of Scott, um, the reason I'm really making this intro video is to just say hello, because I'm about to make a video uh, on Anthony Morris. Okay, I used to, for the last since Sandy Hook in 2012, I used to have a conspiracy channel where I would do conspiracies, and I found this thing that has to do with Genesis 3:15, and I've been drawing lines with news stories to this Genesis 3:15 site on Google Earth for quite a while. It usually matches up to winter solstice and or some kind of a DNA reference, and I've got the DNA reference uh, with Anthony Morris Scotch Bites, so I want to make a video on that, but it's kind of complicated to explain, so I have to just kind of do it quick and simple. So that's why I want to make the intro video separate. Okay. So I left, faded out, no problem. If if I had to think of one strange experience, it would be uh, I remember going to the movies with an elder and his wife and his daughter, and she was somebody I talked to a lot at the Kingdom Hall and as also on the phone. But I didn't think to me that's normal. You just talk to your friends, right? And by the way, nobody ever bothered me about that. Like, talking to the sisters when you're not married or anything. No one said anything. But we all go out to the movies, and I'm thinking, like, just sit on the same row. That's normally, if I go out to the movies with a group, we all just kind of sit, like, abreast each other. And the parents sat behind us, and, and I'm like, oh, I'm on a date. I'm on a date. I didn't even know I was on a date. I didn't ask to go on a date, but I'm on a date, aren't I? So I don't know. That's all. That's really all I have. I really uh, enjoyed it. I really the JW experience. I loved the people. I loved the Bible learning. I really didn't have any kind of a bad experience really, other than just my observations of things that were going on around me that didn't directly involve me. It just didn't feel right, So fast forward to now, um, I haven't talked to my sister too much over the years, although we've always gotten along really well. A couple times, or once, we all met up at my parents' house on vacation, and we hung out, went to Disneyland, and went to the movies, and her and I played on the computer together. And she never bothered me, about not going to meetings or never said a word about it. And in the in the last couple of years, we started talking a lot. In fact, we every Monday night we would try to talk on the phone, and when we did, it would usually be for 2 or 3 hours. Her and I get along fine, and but by now I have my conspiracy channel and I have the Killam clock thing. I call it the Killam clock. Um, you'll see in the next video. You don't want to miss that. It's bombshell stuff, by the way. Um, so I try to share that with her, and a lot of it has to do with numbers and stuff. And I certainly am not into numerology myself, but I do kind of consider myself the BS police, and so um, I'm not doing numerology, but I catch other people doing it, including Anthony Morris, by the way. Um, so if you think of it like a police officer who who's doing drug enforcement, they might know a lot of things about drugs, even hang around people who do drugs, right? That's kind of the nature of the business. You're kind of close by. Same thing with the gang task force, right? An officer doing that. So I want to make it clear I don't do numerology. She doesn't want to hear it. Okay, it's driven like a wedge between us, and that has caused me to uh over the last because now she doesn't want to talk to me too much, hardly at all. So I've been sending her all of the apostate videos and different things that I've been learning from you guys, because I wasn't even into the JW thing until all of the XJW started making YouTube videos, and I got really interested in it because I'm like, wow. Because if when I left back then, I didn't know why I was leaving, like totally clearly in my mind. Oh, I know why now. Oh, thanks to you guys. Wow, what a mess that is. It's a hot mess. It really is. Um, so I guess I'm gonna sign off. Just don't want to forget anything. So I didn't see. I sent my sister all these videos, and I didn't really know she was looking at them or reading my comments or anything because she never responds to it, except for one. She watched the Jeffrey Jackson one testifying at the Royal Commission hearing, and she said that she felt that video was unfair. He's talking about how Jehovah's Witnesses treat disfellowship people. She said that video was unfair because he was talking about a case where the disfellowshipped person lives in the same house. I don't know where she's getting that from. I didn't see that in the video myself. If someone could help me out, but uh, and she used the example of when her husband got disfellowshipped, everything in the house stayed the same. Everything, she says. And my sister's a very sincere and honest and smart and likable kind of person. She wouldn't, when she says something like that, I believe her. Like, she's not the kind to try to slant things or dodge around. She doesn't do that. Neither do I, by the way. So that's the one video that she watched, as far as I know. So I've got like this year and a half under my belt of sending her emails and text messages, usually emails. And the other day she sends me an 18-page letter, and she's talking about all the things I've said and all this. And I'm like, and she's kind of mad at me because I sent her too much, which I wouldn't have done if I knew she was watching them, and I also would have been more selective. I was thinking, maybe it'll just be in her spam folder or whatever for a rainy day one day when she decides to actually look at it. But anyway, that's where I'm at with my sister, and she's pretty much told me uh, that if I can send her a scripture and a brief description of why I think she should be doing something or should not be doing something. But like any kill 'em clock or anybody's apostate videos or whatever, she's not gonna look at that. So at least she offered me that much. But I have to tell you, I have mixed feelings about it. Because she's a big girl and she could do her own research, right, and think for herself. And she kind of clipped my wings by doing that, and I don't really. It's that weird feeling again, the same weird feeling I had when I was actually going to meetings all the time. That it's that like clipped wing feeling. Do you know what I mean? Do you? Okay, I'm David. Thanks for listening. Nice to meet you guys, and stay tuned. I'm gonna be working on the Anthony Morris video real quick here. I hope to have it out lickety split, a couple of days at least, or sooner. Thank you. Bye.